6.
Hello, and thanks so much for joining us for News 5 at 6. I'm Diane Derby. First up in our America Votes coverage, Colorado's Secretary of State, Jena Griswold, frequently describes Colorado's elections as the nation's gold standard. She says that's in part because of security measures she says her office put into place. But now it's Griswold who is accused of being reckless. She confirms partial passwords for voting systems were posted in a spreadsheet that anyone could download from the Secretary of State's website. The El Paso County Clerk and Recorder is calling the password leak a significant matter, but says it does not impact the security of voting systems in the county. News 5's Maggie Bryan spoke with voters and one former election official about how that error is impacting trust.
I spoke with several voters as they were dropping off their ballots at this North Colorado Springs voting center today. Many of them tell me even with reassurance from local election officials, they still have concerns about the slip-up. I spoke with former Colorado Secretary of State Wayne Williams to get more answers. With less than a week left to cast your ballot, many people in El Paso County are voting with pride, and others
tentative but good
with some hesitation. The most recent wave of voter uncertainty comes after the Colorado Secretary of State's office posted an Excel spreadsheet on its website with an unhidden tab of hundreds of passwords used to access voting systems. The office says the passwords were posted for several months.
Are you incompetent? There should be better safeguards.
The error is prompting concern from voters.
It bothers me. There's a lot of things where it just feels like we're saying don't look here, don't just trust us on this.
And reaction from former Secretary of State Wayne Williams.
My initial reaction was, crap, this is not what you want coming out.
Williams, who's a Republican, says the spreadsheet gave out basic input-output system passwords, or BIOS passwords. He says a second Windows password is held by county clerk's offices, creating a checks and balances system.
The release of the BIOS passwords means that part of that check went away. And so now someone who had the Windows password and the access to the machine could make changes without the knowledge of the Secretary of State's office. And that is a significant problem.
He says someone with a BIOS password could make changes to voting systems, like installing malware into the computer, but they would have to do it in person. The El Paso County Clerk says all voting equipment is stored in highly secure rooms that can only be accessed with a badge ID and security code. The equipment is also under 24/7 video surveillance.
The mere disclosure of the password does not provide enough to get there unless you also have the physical security.
Williams says the Secretary of State's office did not immediately notify county election officials of the leak, prompting concerns about transparency.
I think they could have gotten that done more quickly if they had worked with the counties and informed them of the issue.
But he ultimately says trust should not be broken. Should voters have confidence in their ballot they're casting?
Yes, because we have paper ballots and because we do a forensic audit, we know that the results that are reported are either going to be accurate or we will find that in the audit process using the actual paper ballots.
In Colorado Springs, I'm Maggie Bryan, News 5.
Maggie, thank you. The Secretary of State's office says out of an abundance of caution, the department is checking all access logs in affected counties and updating the leaked passwords. Colorado House Republicans are calling for the Secretary of State, Jena Griswold, to resign as a result of this apparent security breach. In a statement, Minority Leader Rose Puglisi said in part, quote, "While I have the utmost trust in the integrity of our county clerks who actually oversee the counting of votes, I have no trust that Secretary Griswold is capable of leading our election system. Enough of her incompetence. It is time for her to resign. The people of Colorado deserve better," end quote. And as I mentioned earlier, Clerk and Recorder Steve Schleicher says this issue does not impact the security of voting systems in El Paso County. He sent a statement that reads in part, quote, "The El Paso County Clerk and Recorder's Office has instituted extensive physical and cybersecurity measures to protect our voting equipment and ensure election integrity." We reached out to officials in Pueblo as well. The Pueblo County Chief Deputy County Clerk and Recorder Brandon Espinoza says Pueblo County was not impacted by this incident.